Hi, this is Sophia from Animal Abuse Behind Closed Cages, and this is a video on animal testing. I'll explain what animal testing is and what really happens in animal testing. I'll also say why it should be stopped and what simple but very impactful things you can do to stop it. Keep in mind that all the links I will show in this video will also be down below in the description. The definition of animal testing is sort of self-explanatory. It is experiments on animals for scientific research. It is also called animal experimentation, animal research, or in vivo testing. A perfect example of how this can torture animals for no reason at all is that I recently read the book The Hot Zone by Richard Preston, which is about the Ebola virus. In the book, helpless crab-eating monkeys that were harmless and had done nothing wrong were put in very small cages. They ate the same thing every day, which was biscuits, and a good portion of them were injected with the Ebola virus. Then they were injected with several other things to see if that would stop the Ebola virus. None of those things stopped it. They were not given any toys, and no cure was found for the Ebola virus. At the end, all of them had to be killed. This was hidden from the public. And at the end, it turned out that they were injected with Ebola-restin, which is harmless to humans. However, it hurt the monkeys quite a bit, and this was all completely legal. And surely you heard of the more recent incident. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, 3 German car companies appear to have commissioned or supported a 2014 study that exposed monkeys and humans to exhaust flames and nitrogen dioxide. Let's get into the pros and cons of animal testing. We'll start with the pros of animal testing, or what people think are the pros of animal testing. The first pro to animal testing is that it helps us learn more about humans and animals, and that it tests the safety of products, and that there is no other alternative that would be able to do that. People also believe that there are regulations in place that prevent cruelty towards the animals involved in animal testing. The last pro people think that animal testing has is that replacing it would mean having humans tested instead. Now let's get into the cons of animal testing. Obviously, the first con to animal testing is that it is inhumane and cruel to animals. According to Animal Legal Defense Fund, or ALDF, an estimated 100 million animals are exploited in many different types of research and in consumer product testing. 95% of these animals are not protected by the law. That means only 5% are. The Animal Welfare Act, or AWA, regulates most animal testing in the United States. Its regulations do not include rats and mice bred for testing, birds, and cold-blooded animals. Additionally, the AWA only regulates housing and transportation for the animals, not the actual experimentation. Plus, there are not enough inspectors to properly inspect research facilities. That means regulations don't really prevent cruelty towards the animals involved in animal testing. The next con is that animal testing is extremely expensive and wasteful. According to Change.org, the United States spends $16 billion at taxpayers' expense for animal testing every single year. The next con is that animal testing often doesn't even produce results or produces very irrelevant results. For example, people test animals for whether drugs are addictive or not, but there are many other factors that go into that, like social pressure, and animals don't feel social pressure. Plus, people test animals on things that we already know the answer to. For example, we know that smoking is bad for our health, but yet people still continue to test animals with cigarettes. Therefore, animal testing doesn't really help us learn more about humans and animals, and it doesn't help us test products' safety. The last con to animal testing is that there are alternatives that are cheaper and much more humane. According to Cruelty Free International, these are 3 alternatives to animal testing. The first one is known as human on a chip, in which cells from 4 different organs were linked together to mimic the human body. The second one is called lung on a chip. It's lined with human lung cells and can be used to test screen potential drugs and lung disease processes. The last one is the reconstituted human skin model. It can be used to replace the Drey's skin irritation tests that are used on rabbits. Virtual dissections and vivisections can replace the real ones that happen in schools. None of those alternatives involve putting humans at risk in any way. Well, look at that. There aren't any pros to animal testing. Every day, more and more progress is made towards a world that is free of animal testing. These poor creatures did nothing to deserve it. I really think that a bright future is ahead of us. This all might seem out of your control, but there are easy things that you, ordinary people like you, can do that will stop animal testing and change the world. The first step is to only buy products that are cruelty-free. At the bottom of this I have a link that leads you to another link. I know, it's a lot of links, but it gets you an app called Bunny Free, where you just search the name of a company and it tells you whether it's cruelty-free or not. It's from PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. I have it on my phone. I really love it. It's really easy to use. You can also scan a barcode and it will tell you whether the product is cruelty-free or not. The app is for both Android and iOS. Buying cruelty-free is very important because that way the companies won't make any money and they will be forced to be put out of business or to reconsider their animal testing. The next thing you can do is sign petitions that put a stop to animal testing. They're very quick and easy to do, but they make a big difference. You can also start your own petition and bring it to your local mayor. Here, I just put 4 links to petitions to get you started. Remember that there are always new petitions to sign, so maybe choose a day of the month and check back in on that day for new petitions. Another thing you can do to help these tortured animals is to donate to organizations that stop animal testing. Here I have 5. To fundraise money, you can leave a donation in your will, or on your birthday, ask for money to donate to these organizations instead of presents. These organizations are reliable. You can make a huge difference for animals forced into testing by writing a letter to Congress. Be specific about it. For example, ask them to update the AWA, or Animal Welfare Act. Congress people are not evil, and yes, they actually do care what you have to say. Here, I have the URL to a really useful article that tells you step by step how to write a letter to Congress. So, even if you're not a great writer, you can still do it. You don't have to be Shakespeare. Spread the awareness about how cruel and horrible animal testing really is, with social media, or buying a t-shirt, or telling people about the issue. There's nothing stopping you from making a difference for these amazing animals that deserve better. These are all the sources that I used to find my information. If you want more information than what I gave you in this video, these would be great options for you. I will put all the links from this video in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this. You really are making a difference for animals everywhere. Make sure to subscribe so that you will always stay updated on these issues. Is there a pro or a con that I missed? Put in the comments. Don't forget to like. Thank you so much.